Good to go?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the 5th edition of Cooking with Surfer. And today we got a specialty for American Thanksgiving. Even though it's not Thanksgiving up here in Canada, we already had that about a month ago. You guys are a bit behind. We're going to do a special for the Americans anyways. So today, we got some lean ground beef here. We just got some fresh kale. Now I've never cooked with the kale before, but we got it for the first time today, so we're gonna give her a try in the fajitas. We got some parsnips, which I don't really know much about parsnips, but they sort of look like carrots, so they gotta be sort of good. And we got some peppers. Up here in Canada, you can see they were made by Bimbo. Bimbo makes the Dempsters fajitas. Bimbo Canada.
We're back.
YouTube didn't like Bimbo Canada. It shut it down for that one.
Somebody says that you're a bimbo. Video Game Snake says that Surfer is a bimbo.
Oh, that's a good one. The porcupine effect, I think they call that in sales. That was a real good one. So we're going to make these fajitas. We're going to cook all the vegetables first in the pan. Going to get a bit of ground beef going, and for the ground beef, we're going to get this taco mix. We'll use the old El Paso taco mix, give it a bit more flavor. And then we'll get we'll put the wraps in the microwave for 10 seconds to heat them up a little bit.
What coffee are you drinking, Surfer?
Oh, yeah, so up here in Canada, we got the Tim Hortons. In the States, you don't got that, but we got the Tim Hortons dark roast. It's pretty good stuff. But I gotta clean the coffee machine because I've only ever cleaned it one time since I've had it, and I think that might have got PPP sick.
Yeah, I'm not doing so well, guys.
The voice is sort of raspy on him, and you can feel that sometimes after you drink like the 4th or 5th cup of coffee, you get sort of a sore throat from it. So maybe I should clean it out. I don't know. Maybe that's just in my head.
Jonestown Bear says Tim Horton was in a Dr. Seuss book.
No, I think that was Horton the elephant.
Horton here's a who?
I think Tim Horton is in the NHL.
That's right.
Am I right about that?
Michael likes your t-shirt, Surfer.
Yeah. PPP bought me this t-shirt. It's got the cap, but it's the Bob Ross cap. He's painting a nice picture. Landscape. You got the stars there. It's pretty good. So to start, now I have a feeling that these parsnips are going to take the longest to cook out of all the vegetables. Oh, I'm missing mushrooms too. You know what? In the thumbnail, we forgot to put the mushrooms. But we're gonna put some mushrooms in there too. I think that would be good.
I think Video Game Snake here, he said that mushrooms are gross.
No, mushrooms are unreal. Mushrooms are like one of my favorite foods. I like all mushrooms. I don't discriminate against different types of mushrooms.
Nassim's asking for a fly check.
Oh, the fly's done up today, most of the way, So we're gonna start with the parsnips because I have a feeling because they're like a root vegetable. It looks like a carrot. They're a thicker consistency, so they're probably gonna take the longest to cook in the pan and all the vegetables. Then after that, we'll probably do the peppers and the mushrooms around the same time. We'll add them to the mix. And we'll probably put the kale in last because it's just a leaf. I imagine it will take the shortest amount of time to cook. But, I've never cooked with kale before, so it's a learning experience for all of us here today.
Yeah, and, Jonestown Bear doesn't know what parsnip is.
Oh, that's a good question, Jonestown Bear. I'm not really 100% myself. They sort of look like carrots, but PPP says they taste like green onions.
That's right.
That's sort of beyond me. Now, it's got this. Oh, there's number 42. It's got this thing on the top, so you gotta get that off of there.
JR is questioning parsnip, kale, mushroom fajitas.
No, they're mushroom beef fajitas with kale and parsnips.
That's what it says. I don't think he's understood quite clearly.
So you gotta get this number 42 off of here so you can open them up. And then, for the same reason you peel carrots, I have a feeling we should peel the parsnip.
Oh, JR has had to let us know that he's a she. JR is a she. Tits are GTFO there, pal. No,
yeah, it's pretty backwards.
Trying to say that you're a woman,
Well, as an RJ, the fact that your name's JR is pretty backwards anyways. You should figure that one out. You gotta get your letters in order.
Jim Ross.
The right way.
Yeah.
Okay, so, there's 6 parsnips in here. And I think I'm going to use 4 parsnips. I'm going to use this big parsnip as well. You see, it's got sort of bulbous.
It's bulbous. Person man wants to know where the syrup is.
Oh, we'll get the syrup. For sure, we're going to put syrup in the vegetables. There's no way I'm going to cook vegetables and not put syrup and brown sugar in the vegetables.
What about the cumin ass video game snake?
Yeah, we're going to get cumin in there too. Now, we got a little piece of kale on the floor, so we're going to throw that in the garbage there. And we're gonna take the rest of the parsnips, the last 2, and we'll just toss them back in the fridge. Gonna make sure to drink my coffee before it goes cold.
Do you know that Video Game Snake donates $500 super chats to Nick Fuentes?
Really?
He does, yeah.
Must be one of the Jewish overlords that's funding Fuentes as the new Richard Spencer.
Every single night he donates super chats to Fuentes. But he denies it. He's trying to say he's a Saudi neat, but...
Yeah, I don't know. So the first thing we're going to want to do with the parsnips, you're going to want to get your potato peeler. So I got a nice Cutco potato peeler. It works really well. We're going to use that. You're gonna want to rinse them off maybe first, get some of the dirt off of them, because they're a root vegetable, right? I think they are, at least by the looks of it. So they come out of the ground. And
yeah, JR, it is a dedicated Red Bull fridge, JR. He's asking. Yeah. There it is, JR.
He's a what?
I don't know,
a Red Bull? Is that what he said?
No, he's asking if it's a dedicated Red Bull fridge.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't drink Red Bull anymore because Red Bull is degenerate. You shouldn't drink energy drinks because they're bad for you. You got to be a paragon of virtue and only drink milk and juice.
Oh, I see.
But back when the Red Bull was the juice, we'd have this plugged in and you can fit 48 Red Bulls in it. No, is it 48 or 24?
I think you could fit 24 in there.
Yeah, so we used to get 24 packs of Red Bull from Costco, and we'd fill up the top and the bottom there. And it has a nice light in the side, so it looks nice and appetizing. But I don't drink Red Bull anymore. There's no more juice, we're all out of the juice. But now, here's a pro tip. When you rinse your vegetables, you're going to want to use the cold water. And the reason I say that is because I think the cold water is less chlorine than the hot water. From selling water filters, I'm pretty sure there's less chlorine in the cold. So we're gonna want to see, you can really rub with your thumbs.
Sargoy is confused.
Oh, that's all right. Just use the cold water when you rinse your vegetables.
Trifox is saying, "What do you mean, no more Jews, Surfer?"
No more Jews. No, I think the Jews are great. And the wise words of Nick Fuentes, I do have a big problem with the Jews. And that problem is that there's not enough of them. We need more Jews. I think maybe 100% of people should be Jews, not just 2%.
There you go. Jonestown Bear demands that you clean that parsnip.
Yeah. And you can see, look at the difference between this parsnip and this parsnip now. This one's obviously a lot cleaner. So we're going to clean the next parsnip off.
Trifox is advocating for a Canadian Jewish ethno-state. And Person Man is letting us know that all the Middle East is Israel.
Yeah, and the best thing for the Jews is to help them all make their way back to repatriate back to Israel so they can make the great super state of Israel in the Middle East. You know, I think every Jew belongs there.
You think so?
Yeah. And I think it's our prerogative. It's our prerogative to help them get there. You know? Give it a responsibility to it.
I don't know. I just think that we should just put the Jews in charge of the whole world.
It's a base Tikkun Olam. Is that what they call that? The base Tikkun Olam?
Yeah.
Okay, so now.
Sargoy is demanding you use prerogative properly.
Oh, I did use prerogative properly. It's like a goal with a bit of more responsibility to it. It's like a goal that you're responsible for. You know, and it's our prerogative to help every Jew get back to Israel.
Sargoy is freaking out. Sargoy is saying he gives up and he can't handle it.
Well, that might just be your prerogative, Sargoy.
Now,
you know?
Surfer, did you hear about Player 920 and his disability?
Yeah.
Yeah, Player 920 loves the Disney Star Wars.
Yeah. It's his make-a-wish to watch every Star Wars movie in a marathon.
He loves it.
Especially the last one.
He loves Last Jedi so much. You know, he actually has a Porg fleshlight.
A Porg? What's a Porg?
Well, see, it's good that you don't know.
You know, I've only seen the first 6 Star Wars movies. I haven't even seen number 7, The Last Jedi.
No, number 7's The Force Awakens.
You know, I did know that. I just thought it'd be sort of jokes.
Sargoy asks why you are so based, Surfer. Video game.
I put a lot into it. You know, I try to browse the 4chans, you know, and just put all these things together. But I've never seen Star Wars.
Video Game Snake says that's beautiful innocence.
Yeah, that's right. So now I'm gonna take my potato peeler and I'm gonna peel the skin off of these parsnips. Now, you know, I think the best way to proceed with that is to peel the top part first, because you gotta get either end of it. So I get my chair right up nice to the garbage can here. And so that way I can I'm nice and close to it. I'm not getting peels all over the kitchen, you know, so.
Now, Surfer, somebody asked, what's your favorite meat?
Meat?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's a tough one. I really do like pork. I like to eat pork and drink milk with it. You know, I don't want to say bacon, because that's sort of cringe if I was to say that, you know. But when I cook bacon, I really like to drink milk with it. You know? I'd probably have to say pork. I like pork tenderloins a lot. I like the pulled pork, you know. I like beef. I love beef, but I probably like pork more than I like beef. And I do like chicken a lot too. Chicken's really good. You can do a lot with chicken. Now you can see, so this is why we're peeling the parsnips. Look at the difference between the inside of it and the skin. So we're gonna get all that skin off of there. You don't want to peel too much, because then you lose a lot of parsnip while you're peeling.
Jonestown Bear wants to see you lift the weights.
Oh, I can lift the weights at the end of the stream, but maybe another stream.
Somebody is saying the way that you peel the parsnip is erotic.
It fires them up.
Yeah, I guess
they
so.
They get real horny for it.
Person Man is saying that bagged milk is degenerate.
Well, that's just how we do it up here in Canada. You know, it's probably not the most degenerate thing in Canada. You know,
there's some things in Canada that are a bit worse than the bagged milk, you know, buddy.
Yeah.
Know what to tell you.
Now, you see, you still do get, even sitting nice and close to the garbage, you still do get some parsnip on the ground, but that's all right. We'll deal with that later. You know?
We're up to 28 whole viewers live, Surfer.
Hey, must have been looking forward to it for the Thanksgiving special. Even though Thanksgiving was a month ago. You know? You really gotta peel on the top because you get like where it was attached to the stem on the top, right? So that's why I really go at the top there.
How would you rate Canada's degeneracy on a scale of 0 to 1 UK's?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I don't think knife crime is as high here, but like you get people at the universities throwing poop at each other, you know, it's I'd maybe say Canada's degeneracy is 0.83 UK's.
There we go, guys. That's the definitive answer.
I would have thought of that one.
It's the bottom line because Surfer said so. We hit 30 viewers and then it dropped to 28 because 2 members of the UK were offended. You didn't say that our country was more degenerate than the UK.
I don't know if you can get much more degenerate in the current state of the UK. Well, I mean, I haven't been to the UK in a long time, you know. So.
Yeah, Godwinson is even fleeing the UK.
Is he?
Yeah, he's moving to Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, he is.
I hear good things about Switzerland, but I don't know that much about it, to be honest. Now, I'm going to take a pause here and finish the coffee because you don't want the coffee to get cold. And it's easy when you're not thinking about the coffee to let the coffee get cold. But you don't want to let the coffee get cold. It's not quite as good.
Somebody said, Rabbi, I think it was Rabbi, no, Rusty Shilford says, I love you, Surfer. I love you, PPP. Please never stop your artwork.
Okay. Now you can see the top of this one's a bit bulbous. So you don't want to peel off too much, but you want to get in the crevice there with the peeler. So we're gonna put a bit of attention onto that. I'm gonna start where it's not quite such a crevice, you know. Gonna give her a once over all around, and then I'm really gonna get in that crevice to finish it off.
Really get in that crevice. Work that crevice to finish it off.
That's right.
Asparagus asks, when's the stream where you both do way too many psychedelics?
You know, I haven't done psychedelics for a long time, but maybe one day. PPP seems to think that you should, once every 5 years, you should go on a spirit trip for...
You go on the spirit quest.
Family friendly, or a family friendly way to put it. But you shouldn't do that too often. So you see, I really got in there in the crevice. Then we got all the skin out of the crevice. We're going to get the top of it. For some reason, the garbage smells like Coca-Cola. It smells like soft drinks.
Coca-Cola.
No, it really does.
Really?
Maybe it's these parsnips I'm peeling. Maybe they smell like Coca-Cola. Maybe that's how they flavor Coca-Cola with parsnips.
Wow. These are the high IQ observations you can only get on Cooking with Surfer.
No, I'm serious. Sit by the garbage. Sit by the garbage.
Oh, guys, apparently...
It smells like Coca-Cola.
No, it does.
It really smells like Coca-Cola.
What?
Not just a little bit, but it really smells like Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Peeling the parsnips.
That's fucked up, man.
We got one parsnip left. I'm going to need that seat back, PPP.
Roar. Jonestown Bear says this is the slowest parsnip peeling he's ever seen.
Well, you want to make sure that you get.
He's seen a lot of parsnip peeling.
There's more than one way to peel a parsnip, I guess. Or skin a parsnip.
They're green onion flavored parsnips.
Oh, by the smell of it, I think they're Coca-Cola flavored parsnips.
It really did smell like those Coca-Cola gummy bottles.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it smelled.
Were you eating them?
The gummy bottles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Were you?
No, I wasn't eating them. I thought you asked if I ever ate them.
You shouldn't be eating candy. It's degenerate.
Candy is good for you.
It's sent to degenerate our youth.
No, Robbie Rotten says it's good for you.
How are you gonna eat an apple after you just ate a bag of Skittles? You know?
Asparagus asks, how many natives have you met?
I've met a lot of natives. You know, back in my day, I used to go door knock and sell energy contracts to the natives on the reserves. You know, because every single one of them buys an energy contract when you knock on their door, and I guess water filters too. You know, they just buy everything that you can come to their door with. But the problem is, you end up knocking on someone's door that's part of like the council of elders, like the chiefs or whatever, and then they just lose their mind. Like when I was doing energy contracts, like one of the elders took a picture of my badge and sent it to the company, and like head office, corporate had to send an apology letter to it was the reserve up in Sault Ste. Marie. They had to send them an apology letter because I was selling them energy contracts. But before that, I probably sold them like, realistically, like 8 energy contracts in a row, you know, before I ran into that guy. So we made off pretty well with
The
it.
natives are deals.
Yeah, well, they buy everything that you come to their door. So, you know, you should generally use a bigger knife when you're cutting root vegetables, like the butcher knife. This one's one of my favorite knives, you know, I like to...
That one's actually illegal in the UK.
Well, no doubt this one's illegal in the UK. Look at the length of it. And it's sort of weighted at the end here. You can see it's weighted up here. So you can really butcher into things with it, right? I used to have the chef knife too, which is weighted towards the bottom of the knife. But because I'm gonna use this knife, it's a Santoku style, as you can see it. Instead of curving up like the American style, it curves down, and I think it's Japanese, the Santoku style. So we're gonna use this for the mushrooms and for the kale. So I mean, at this point, I'm gonna use it for the parsnips also.
You're using the Cutco brand.
Yeah, well, I used to sell them. They're the best knives you can get. Look, they got the double D edge. Instead of a straight edge or a serration, you got 3 individual straight edges in between each point. One like this, one like this, one like this. So that way it really cuts through, but it's a clean cut. You know, it doesn't rip or fray at all. It's pretty base. And you got your nice ergonomic handle here. It's triple riveted with nickel silver rivets. You know, so they're not going to rust or anything like that. You got a nice grip on it, you know, the thumb and the finger lock in, you know, so you're not going to slip and cut your fingers off, which, because it's a really sharp knife, you could do that. I've cut myself, though it's not fun. And the handles are actually made out of the same thing as bowling balls. I think they call it thermal resin.
Wow.
You know, it's a pretty good knife. It's a high carbon surgical stainless steel blade. So it's the same stuff that they use for surgical instruments like scalpels and stuff. Never gonna rust and it's gonna keep its edge.
That's amazing. They're asking if you sold the knives door to door.
No, I didn't sell them door to door. I got appointments for them door to door. And I'm probably gonna want to cut my parsnips about this big. You can just sort of see, you want to start from the thick end and move to the bottom end, because if the thick end is this big, you're gonna get your fingers so that you'd have to hold it up, whereas the smaller end you won't.
Get Crack for me says that Cutco is like the Freemasonry of grifter teen sales jobs.
Well, I don't really get that reference. You know, I got a whole collection of books about the Masons. I don't get that reference.
Rusty Shelford is getting real upset that we endorse the use of magic mushrooms every 5 years. Rusty Shelford, you're on permanent ignore, and I'm not going to respond to you anymore, Rusty. Sorry.
Why wouldn't you use magic mushrooms every 5 years, Rusty Shelford? Are you high?
Rusty's saying that Jesus doesn't like that. Rusty is saying that we need to repent and return to piety.
How would you define piety?
Well, I just don't know what Rusty's definition would be. Asparagus asks, what's the proper dosage to use?
It depends on how strong the mushrooms are. I mean, most of the time you eat about a half quarter of mushrooms, 3.5 grams, and you go on a nice spirit quest. Sometimes you need to eat like a half bag of mushrooms. If they're not as potent, you eat like 14 grams of magic mushrooms.
No, Rusty, you're not getting banned. I'm just messing with you, buddy. I'm not like the Big Bear.
The Big Bear is based.
Tell them all about your love for Owen.
Owen is the realest guy on YouTube. No one is realer than Owen. Owen speaks. Owen speaks. Well, I mean, the guy's losing it a little bit lately. Like, some of the stuff he goes about. But Owen's a really honest guy, He says what he means. And he means what he says. I really respect Owen for that. And I mean, the guy's got, like, he's put together this farm, He's got a family with a few kids. Like, Owen's doing pretty well,
Well, that's tough.
We lost a parsnip. That's tough.
I personally think that Owen is a schizophrenic that beats his wife.
Well, that's just not real, Owen's wife spins alpaca wool, Like, that's pretty based. I don't know if anyone in chat has a wife that spins alpaca wool.
What about all the bruises on his wife?
There's no bruises on any.
Jonestown Bear goes, Owen is not honest. Remember that time he lied and said I tried to murder his kid because I busted Nimmer lying? What? You might have to elaborate there.
Yeah, I don't remember that. You see, I started watching Owen Benjamin's streams in like maybe January, February. Right after last Christmas. So the whole Nimmer thing was before I watched Owen.
Asparagus says that Owen Benjamin has Klinefelter's syndrome.
I don't know. I don't think that's true.
He does have an extra chromosome, no?
Oh, I don't know.
That's why he's so tall?
No, I think he just has a based phenotype.
Oh, the based phenotype.
Owen's got a superior phenotype like I do, It's just a little bit Jewish, and then you got like I have the superior Frisian phenotype.
This sounds like a scam. Asparagus asks, does Surfer know about Johans?
Yeah. Johans is pretty jokes. When I first heard of Godwinson, when PPP started doing videos about Godwinson, where he like read the letter, and it showed like Johans reading the letter, PPP, I thought that Johans was Godwinson. I thought that's who Godwinson was. I thought it was jokes. Who's this Godwinson guy? He looks like a retard. I was wrong about that.
And then when you saw the real Godwinson, you laughed even harder because he looked worse than Johans.
Yeah. I mean, Johans is pretty jokes.
Rusty Shelford is trying to say I've been drinking and smoking too much, but
No, as a paragon of virtue, we don't drink or smoke here. Drinking and smoking is for degenerates.
There you go. So shut up, Rusty Shelford, you homosexual. Person Man says that Godwinson has been BTFO.
Yeah, I mean, Godwinson's like not even coming back at this point. I wish the guy would come back. He makes some pretty good content sometimes.
Who knows? Godwinson could be watching this right now.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Godwinson came back,
Godwinson is watching this in his living room with his girlfriend, sipping a glass of wine.
Well, Godwinson said he was going to come to Canada and have beers with us in the summer, and that never happened.
Yeah, Godwinson, he lied. He lied to us.
He's not like based on Benjamin, who always tells the truth, Even though if it's not the truth, he's honest about it.
We're not Methodists, Rusty Shelford. You ought to jump off a bridge.
So now we almost got our parsnips cooked. And something about cutting the parsnips. When you cut onions, I don't cut onions because I think onions are gross. But when you cut onions, it affects your eyes. For some reason, cutting these parsnips, the same thing. It's getting me in the eyes. You know?
Jonestown Bear goes, it's been 30 minutes and still no parsnips.
No, we got the parsnips all cut up.
People are saying they're going to switch to the Ralph Kill stream.
That's right. You know, the type of person that watches the Ralph Kill stream.
Jonestown.
Lost cause anyway.
Jonestown Bear goes, even Owen would have had them ready by now.
Well, Owen doesn't cook because he has a base wife that cooks for him, you know? So, like now, because we're going to use a lot of vegetables, I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter into the...
That's all?
Yeah, we're going to cut 2 tablespoons.
Oh, my throat. It's tough. I have laryngitis.
Oh, no, you don't want to put the butter back in with the cutlery. That doesn't make a whole ton of sense. But you want to get your butter and put it back in the fridge after you cut it.
Rusty Shilford says he wants to see us at the dinner table of Christ, and then we need to stop doing drugs.
Well, we don't do drugs, Rusty Shilford. You know?
Rusty is just spamming the chat with his homosexuality all the live long day.
Now, if you remember the first episode of Cooking with Surfer, we put the oven on to a 6. And the same thing, we're really going to want to sear into the parsnips, so we're going to want to put the oven on a 6.
Janice wants you to take off your shirt, Surfer.
Oh, I bet she does. Well, that's for when we lift weights. We'll do a weightlifting stream, and we'll put on the Judas Priest in the background and lift the weights.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You're going to be shirtless lifting the weights to Judas Priest, eh?
Yeah, for the chat.
I bet you chat really wants to see that.
Okay, so now we're going to get some spices for the vegetables. And we're going to put some spices in there. Now, I think I'm not going to quite do the same spice lineup as I usually do, because we're also going to use the taco mix for the ground beef. So, I'm sort of going on the fly with this one. But I'm going to take the roasted garlic peppers, that spice, and I'm only going to do maybe 1.5 shakes. Going to get a little bit of seasoning salt.
People are saying you failed the fly check.
My fly's done up. What do you mean? You want to see my fly done, you weirdos?
Jonestown Bear goes, wait a minute, parsnips and taco mix?
No, we're putting the taco mix in the ground. You ever made tacos before or fajitas?
Well, Jonestown Bear, he can't figure it out.
Well, we're like out of paprika, so we're not using any paprika here today on Cooking with Surfer.
Janice is real excited. She wants to see her fly down.
Oh, I bet. But next, we're going to do everyone's favorite spice, the cumin. For the end of No Nut November, in fact, we're going to do the ground cumin. So, now the cumin, we like to use a bit more cumin than any other spice. So we're going to put maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. And just a little tap more.
7.5 cumins?
Yeah, well, the 7th wasn't really a full 7, so that's why I did another little bit of a tap. Then we're going to get the turmeric. Turmeric's good for the inflammation.
People are saying that's way too much cumin.
No. Usually I use like 16 shakes of the cumin. You know, get a little bit of sage in there.
Person Man is demanding a syrup check.
Syrup doesn't come yet. And then that's about good for now. Before you put the stuff in, that's when you do the brown sugar. So syrup comes after on top, but the brown sugar goes on the bottom. So you're just going to get a little pinch in there. You get a little happy pinch, and you're just going to...
You Bob Ross now?
Yeah, get the little happy pinch on you. I know, I was thinking... And we'll just sort of drizzle it around in there.
Your voice is ASMR orgasmic, sir. For people to just get turned on by your voice.
Oh, is that what Janice said?
Yeah.
I bet.
16 shakes is considered a full-blown room wax, says Jonestown Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, we dipped below 30 viewers. It's tough.
That's all right.
At one point, we were as high as 33 whole viewers,
Yeah, now you're gonna want to get your spatula. That's pretty base, because that's how many years that King David ruled over the whole of Israel. We read that in the book of Samuel.
Asparagus asks if you've ever done salvia, Surfer.
Oh yeah. Probably only ever like 10 times.
Video Game Snake is saying not 14 shakes and 88 taps.
No, not that. We reserve those numbers for more noble uses. But so we're gonna want to get a little bit of water too. I almost forgot about the water. Because the water just adds a little bit more. A little happy bit more to it,
Asparagus asks, what, 10 times? What do you see in salvia?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the salvia. Like, there's a lot of different salvia you can buy. But, I don't know. It doesn't last that long. It feels for longer than it is. But it's sort of different every time. I don't know. But you see some weird stuff. One time I smoked salvia. I saw an extra dimension to the air around me. Like, I can see the shape. I don't really know how to describe it. But I can see the shape of the air. Like, how you can regularly see like the shape of everything. Like, I saw the shape of the air inside of everything. There's like an edge to the air. It was trippy. I don't know if that's 3D or 4D or what was going on.
Sargoy is upset that you put water in a hot pan.
What, is he retarded? Why would he be upset about that?
He's rattled. Again, you put it in a hot pan? Sargoy goes, Surfer either has 30 IQ or 300 IQ. I can't tell.
Well, my IQ is about 142, 143. It's around the Owen Benjamin mark.
Video Game Snake on salvia couldn't stop calling his friend the N-word for 30 minutes, he says.
So you're going to want to just slide the happy little parsnips into the pan. And now that we got our parsnips in the pan, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to toss them around. I'm going to toss them around. And that way they're going to get covered with all the little happy goodness we got in the pan, with the spices and the water and the butter.
Jonestown Bear claims that his IQ is 148. And that his mummy verified it, just like Owen.
Oh, I was tested by a professional. That's how I know that my IQ is above 140.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what the professionals told me.
What professionals?
Well, when I was a kid, the professionals tested me. They told me that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they were psychologists or psychiatrists. I don't really know which one's which.
Rusty Shelford keeps demanding a sermon about King David from you here, Surfer.
Well, I've never preached a sermon like PPP before, but maybe one of these days I'll preach a sermon. Maybe I'll do it about King David.
You're going to tell them all.
I'm still reading. Right now I'm reading the second book of Samuel. So that's how I know that King David ruled all of Israel for 33 years, because that was in the chapter I just read. He ruled all of Judah, just Judah, for 7 years and 6 months, and then he ruled after that. He had all of Israel, and he ruled it for another 33 years. So in total, it was about 40 years and 6 months that he ruled over. He ruled in total, but...
Amazing. People are saying that you're a paragon of virtue.
Well, I really try my best to be a paragon of virtue. That's why I eat healthy and I go to the gym and I don't smoke cigarettes. Like a degenerate, and I don't do drugs.
We got a question, sir. For what?
I lift the weights. I don't beat off. Like, I don't just participate in No Nut November. I participate in No Nut Ever. Because I have mastery over myself, I don't even desire to beat off anymore. It's been so long, you know. I've transcended above that primal state, you know, that carnal state of being. I've transcended above it.
Prospera City is amazed. We got a question. What's the hardest drug you've ever done?
I don't know. I've never done anything too serious. I've done a little bit of cocaine. We've done oxys. We've done ketamine. I don't know. I have this like antipsychotic it was like an antidepressant antipsychotic. We had a full pill bottle of it. So me and my buddy he smoked it out of a pipe. He put tobacco in the pipe and crushed these pills up on top of it and skateboard around town and smoke it out of a pipe. And it sort of felt like cocaine, you know, but it made you really happy, but it lasted longer than cocaine. Because cocaine only lasts like 40, 50 minutes, so you gotta do another line. Which is one of the reasons it's so addictive. You shouldn't do cocaine. Other than that, you know, I smoked ecstasy pills like 7 times. The first time I ever smoked ecstasy pills, I could hear this creature in my ceiling. It's like 6 in the morning on a school night, and I'm sitting at the computer. You know, I'm still up, and I just hear this breathing in the ceiling above me. It sounds like a snake that's breathing, and it's moving around the ceiling. I was just far gone. You know, you shouldn't do that. You know, I used to be a bit of a degenerate when I was younger. You know, I repent of that, though. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that stuff. You know, but I had a good time. I don't know.
Eric W. says that smoking ecstasy is the best.
You don't want to smoke ecstasy. It's probably pretty dangerous to smoke ecstasy pills. But we crush them up and put them on the tobacco or put them on weed and just smoke it. It tastes like rusty nails and chlorine, and you smoke ecstasy pills. It's disgusting. You know? It's not good.
Fishman is claiming that injecting ecstasy is better.
Watch out, PPP.
I'm gonna murk myself.
A hard time. I don't know why you'd ever inject ecstasy. See, I've never injected a drug. You know, I could never bring myself to do that. I think that's gross. And so I never really did any real hard drugs, you know, because I never injected drugs. I always stayed away from the big four. The big four to me were crack, heroin, PCP, and meth. I've never touched those, right? I never did. Maybe some of the ecstasy pills I did were cut with like meth or heroin, because you never really know what you're getting in an ecstasy pill, but I would never consciously do one of those drugs. I would never consciously do any of those drugs that I used to do, either like ecstasy or anything like that.
Janice asked if you do cam shows, Surfer.
Well, this is a camp show, isn't it?
Well, like where you get naked for money.
Well, you know, one time, I used to, before PPP came here, I used to cook bacon, and I do it with no clothes on. And the reason I cook bacon with no clothes on is so I could learn the perfect flip without getting splashed by it, you know, and it would toughen you up, cooking the bacon and just getting splashed by it with no clothes on. But I don't do that anymore. I did that for no money.
Whoa.
No, we're going to want to cut some peppers. So I'm going to get 2 peppers.
Fishman says that cooking bacon naked is an extreme sport.
Well, it's not that extreme, you know. You're pretty soft if you can't cook bacon with no clothes on.
Well, Fishman is also the guy who apparently injects ecstasy into his fucking...
You know, so when I cut the peppers, I like to cut the peppers into 4 quadrants. You get 4 quadrants of peppers. Go on. The rest is garbage. We'll cut both peppers into 4 quadrants. Quadrant. Reminds me of quadroons.
You love quadroons.
Yeah. Richard Spencer's. squadron of quadroons. No, they were octoroons. Richard Spencer's squadron of octoroons that got away from him.
Viewership is collapsing. I think everybody has defected to the kill stream.
Oh, that's alright.
Guys,
the sort of people that watch the kill stream. The kill stream is pretty degenerate.
Ethan Ralph is laughing at our viewership numbers, guys. It's tough.
It's alright, life goes on. So now that you've cut your peppers, you want to get the pith, the inside. So how I get the pith out is I do a nice little cut right there, a little happy cut, and then I do another happy cut, right down the middle there to get the pith out.
Michael is just fucking going hard for Ralph today. Michael, you need to take Ralph's penis out of your mouth there, buddy.
Yep. Don't know much what else to say about that.
Piper's Pit. I see what you did there, Surfer.
Yeah, it's nice. You want to get that pith out. You don't want to be eating the pith.
Yeah, that's right, Prospera City. I single-handedly destroyed the kill stream. That's right. That's correct.
So you do a nice happy little cut there. And you can just sort of skin the pith out of it. you can just do a nice little happy skin the pith out of the peppers. You know?
There you go, bud.
This one's just got a little bit of pith on its edges.
A little bit of pith.
Yeah, it does.
Somebody asked if you would smoke gunt crust if it got you high, Surfer.
What do you mean? Gun crust? That's disgusting. I don't know why you'd smoke gun crust, even if it got you high. That's like in Africa where they like poop in a water bottle and then sniff it 3 days later to get high, you know?
The Jenkum?
Do you really want to do that to get high? You know?
Would you take a big bite out of Ralph's gunt crust?
I wouldn't take a bite out of Ralph's gun crust. Now, before I put the peppers in there, I'm just going to want to... Ooh, and these are really cooking now. They're all cooked on the bottom, so I'm going to want to flip them. You see that? I guess this cooks a bit quicker than I thought. So now, I'm going to turn it down to just below the medium. I'm going to hurry up cutting these.
Video Game Snake says, based 420, Chan.
Now, with the Santoku style, the tip of the knife, you can really get a good cut with that. So you see I can cut these peppers real quick. I'm going to cut them into nice, happy little lines. And then I'm going to maybe, once I get them like that, I'll maybe do 2 cuts this way. Toss them in there, take away some of the heat. I'm going to try to do this real quick. Let's cut the peppers. You still got to get the mushrooms in here too after.
I think this live stream is going to die before it finishes.
Before we even get the vegetables going. How long have we been going?
48 minutes.
No. We're trying to cut the peppers real quick.
Sargoy goes, it'll take at least another 2 hours for the fajitas to be done.
You know, we like to do nice gourmet fajitas here on the Cookin' with Surfer show.
You're saying you're a slow cook.
Yeah, but I cook well, you know. Can you really judge something on how long it takes, or do you judge it on the quality of it?
People are saying that that's PPP's way of telling you he wants to eat ASAP. Well, that's not true.
Well, no, because we're trying to wean PPP off of the food.
I don't know if that's working.
Well, that way you won't have as much gunt crust.
Well, the gunt crust is fantastic if you just give it a chance.
Who was it that wants to try smoking your gunt crust?
I don't know.
Okay, we just got 2 more peppers here. You know, I forgot to wash. No, I did wash the peppers. Almost thought I forgot.
Guys, did he wash the
I
peppers?
did, I remember it. Press 1 if you saw me wash the peppers.
Asparagus asked if you would saute gun crust or slow roast it.
You don't want to cook with gun crust. It doesn't have a very good flavor, I imagine.
There's a lot of ones and a lot of twos. People seem to have a split memory on this.
You got your happy little peppers in there now. You're going to flip them around.
Somebody's saying that you have no dexterity with the knife, and is this a racial problem with Canadians or what?
No dexterity. Like, see what I'm doing? I got a really large hippocampus because of my high IQ. So I have a lot of spatial reasoning. And as a result, I have a lot of dexterity with the knife, and that's why I don't cut myself.
The large hippocampus.
Yeah. So now you don't wash mushrooms, you know? I learned that when I was in university. I was taught not to wash mushrooms because they soak up everything, right? Mushrooms are sort of like a sponge. But we're gonna want to get mushrooms out of there.
Michael says you have 99 dexterity points.
That's right. And they just keep rising. Now, we're going to want to do maybe, I don't know how many mushrooms, so just keep going. What does the chat think? Should we do 7 mushrooms maybe?
What do you guys think, 7 or what?
Or should I just do all 11 mushrooms? Yeah, let's just toss all the mushrooms in there. May as well at this point.
Can we get a Keno check in chat? Sargoy demands all the mushrooms be done. Oh! Are we back? We're down to 3 viewers, but I think we're back.
Well, for whoever's left, I saved you some mushrooms. I was going to show you how to quarter the mushrooms. And you want to quarter them down the stem. So you just quarter them down the stem there like you'd quarter a moose. Still got two more mushrooms. We had some technical difficulties there. And you know, PPP couldn't get it figured out, but as soon as I tried it, it worked. I had the magic touch.
Oh, I bet.
Well, I did.
It's a scam. Don't listen to him, chat.
Yeah, so we're quartering our last mushroom there. Now, because I wanted to save you guys some mushrooms so I could show you how to quarter them, I turned it down. So now I'm going to turn it back up to just below medium. Going to toss everything around. And next, it's everyone's favorite part. You know what I'm going to add to the mix next? Can anyone in chat guess what we're going to add next?
Michael guesses salt.
No, we're not going to use salt. We don't cook with salt here. We use seasoned salt.
Razmaz goes sear it.
Oh, Razmaz is correct. Razmaz is the winner. We're going to get the maple syrup out of the fridge. Well, it's not real maple syrup, but I still call it maple syrup.
Based Aunt Jemima's.
And we're just gonna do some happy little drizzles on top there. Do a nice spiral. And then we're gonna get some more water. Now we're using our spring water in there instead of the reverse osmosis. Because the spring water, it's got minerals. Gonna do some happy little drizzles on there. And I'll just keep her all nice and moist in the pan, you know, and
Gonna have to get a charger here soon. It's low battery.
You can plug in with the charger. Well, that's just go JFS King Cobra style. Oh, that's true, JFS King Cobra style. Right
This
there.
is JFS King Cobra to the max.
Here, I'll get you a charger.
Alright.
We'll leave PPP over charge of the vegetables, you know? Here's your charger. What, were you mixing the vegetables?
Yeah.
And you can plug the charger in just like that, and then you're good to go. Now, so this is the part that's new to me. We're going to cook with a bit of the kale. Now, once again, we're going to want to rinse our kale like the rest of the vegetables. Holy. You're going to want to shake it out. Get our next leaf of kale. Gonna give her some happy little rinses.
You know who I'm sad isn't in chat tonight?
Who's that?
Dr. Ape.
Dr. 8.
Yeah, Dr. Ape, you'd always make fun of your cooking.
Is DJ Axel there?
No, DJ Axel isn't in chat tonight. He's not there.
No, I'm disappointed there's no DJ Axel. Because once I get this kale in there, I'm gonna use a lid.
Asparagus asked if he missed any Kino.
Well, we were quartering the mushrooms like you'd quarter a moose, and then PPP messed up the technical difficulties.
He missed the syrup, though.
Yeah, if you missed the syrup, you missed the Kino, because we got the syrup going in there. Now, you know, I think you don't eat I don't think you eat the stem of the kale. I could be wrong. So I'm just going to rip all these happy little leaves off of the kale and toss them in there. The bigger leaves, I'm going to maybe rip them a few times. Just get the little happy pieces of kale in there.
Janice wants you to take your pants off.
I bet. Janice is really escalating from the shirt to the pants to the... You're going to have to do a weightlifting stream for Janice listening to Judas Priest.
What Judas Priest song are you going to play?
I don't know. I don't listen to Judas Priest. I'm not a degenerate boomer. You know? Well, I think it'd be some real Kino. If we got PPP lifting with no shirt on, listening to Judas Priest.
Fishman says Kale has a chance of turning you gay sympathetic if you fail a saving throw versus Vatican II.
Sorry, libtard, I couldn't hear you over the sound of the Skinner.
There you go. Why aren't you sad about the Player 920 not being here? Because he has a mental problem. He likes the Disney Star Wars, guys.
Yeah. Well, he's probably doing his Make-A-Wish. His Make-A-Wish, what is it? The marathon of Star Wars. He's doing his Make-A-Wish marathon of all the Star Wars movies with a special emphasis on The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, or whatever number 7 was called.
That's right. Guys, should Surfer watch the Star Wars sequel trilogy?
No, I refuse to watch Star Wars.
Well, you love Star Wars, Surfer.
Oh, you know, it's pretty cringe.
Press 1 if Surfer should watch the new Star Wars. Press 2 if he should.
No, the next movie we're going to watch, the next movie we're going to watch, what was it? The Mule?
The Mule.
And we're going to watch El Topo.
Yeah.
Have you watched El Topo yet?
No.
We'll have to watch El Topo. Now, we're getting lots of kale in there by the looks of it. I underestimated the kale, you know? How much should it be? But we're just going to keep ripping up our happy little leaves here. We got one more little happy stalk of kale.
We're saying R.I.P. to Barry. Apparently Barry Blutnick passed away yesterday.
Oh. You know, Barry's on the cutting edge. No one makes more cutting edge content than Barry. You know, like, you think it's pretty abstract the first couple times you watch it, but once you really get into watching Barry Blutnick, you know, you really see how cutting edge it is. You know, there's some real deep themes explored in Barry's content. And no one's quite on the cutting edge.
You know, we got a couple people in chat that want you to review Holy Mountain.
Yeah, I know. We should review Holy Mountain. We watched it one time, you know, but it was a long time ago. I don't really remember it because I think that's when I used to do drugs.
Drugs are good, okay? That was a bad Mackie. I could do a better one.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. You gotta get your voice in check. Okay. So now, well, actually here, I'm gonna stir in all these happy little leaves of kale. Get all the happy little leaves in there. Maybe do some flips to get the kale to the bottom.
Harrison Williams says that this is more alpha than InfoWars.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Blazin says you have an incredible ass.
Oh, actually, I don't work on it. I don't do squats. I tried doing squats, but I don't really do squats. I just do the machine where you lift it up with your legs, like, like that, and the one where you lift it down with your legs, like that. You know, so maybe that's what does it, but I don't do squats. Okay, me behind you.
Somebody says, Surfer, hypothetically, I have some salvia with me. Hypothetically, how much salvia should I take?
Well, you don't really need to be hypothetical about it because it's completely illegal. You shouldn't do it, just degenerate. But I mean, if you're gonna smoke salvia, you probably only need to smoke a bowl or two. Like how you smoke it. Now, you don't want to just smoke it like weed. Like you don't want to inhale it and breathe it out because you won't get an effect from that. You need to inhale it and you need to hold it in. Hold it in for like a minute and a half until you absolutely can't hold it in anymore. And I think that starves the brain from oxygen, which forces it to intake the salvia. And then you breathe it out and you'll be gone for 10 minutes. Like it's like more intense than a mushroom trip for like 5-10 minutes. It seems a lot longer than that though. So next, we're going to get the rest of our happy little cumin seeds. And we're just going to sprinkle the happy little cumin seeds on top. Just going to sprinkle the happy little cumin seeds on there.
Jonestown Bear is recommending DMT hits.
Jonestown Bear needs to watch more Owen Benjamin and get away from the Joe Rogan.
But Joe Rogan is way more base than Owen.
No one's more base than Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin is the realest guy on YouTube. I stand by that.
Cringe.
Now we're going to want to get our oregano. We're just going to want to put maybe 6 or 7 happy little shakes of oregano into the pan.
Jonestown Bear goes, I've seen way more Owen than anyone you know. Jonestown Bear, how many hours would you estimate you've watched Owen Benjamin? Tell us.
I've seen every episode of the Owen Benjamin show.
Jonestown Bear says he's watched thousands of hours.
That's pretty based. Pretty based, Jonestown Bear.
Harrison Williams says he's seen at least 400 hours of the Owen Benjamin show.
Yeah. Now you can see there. So we got her all nice and mixed in. We got our cumin seeds really mixed into everything in the pan.
Jonestown Bear, do you feel like you wasted your life watching thousands of hours of Owen, or was it a productive use of your time?
Well, how else are you gonna learn how to grow, how to take care of goats? I guess you don't really grow goats.
I mean, grow those goats, pal.
Okay, so now Yeah, I'm gonna want to get a lid. So I need back there. Got the lid back there. So I did the dishes the other day, and I got the lid washed just in preparation. So we're gonna want to get this lid here, and we're putting it on top of the vegetables. And the reason for that, you can see it keeps the moisture inside, and the steam's gonna help cook the vegetables on top. So I think DJ Axel asked about using the lid to fry vegetables one time, and especially with leafy vegetables, it's nice to use the lid from time to time because the steam bounces back down and helps cook them from the top as well as the bottom, and it helps retain that moisture in there. You know, you get your nice moist vegetables if you use the lid, and that'll be good for the fajitas made in Bimbo, Canada.
Jonestown Bear says, you see, I did it because Owen told 250,000 people I tried to murder a child, then spelled my full name 3 times. I wrecked him. It was all worth it. Was it really worth it, though, Jonestown Bear, if you fucking murdered a child?
No one's wrecked Owen Benjamin.
Owen is the unwrecked, of course.
Owen's pretty based, you know. Like the guy might say some pretty out there things sometimes, like nuclear bombs don't exist, you know, and things like that, you know. But I don't think his understanding of physics is quite what he thinks it is. He sort of gets the Dunning-Kruger effect with that, but he has his homestead, you know, like. He's got a wife that spins alpaca wool. He's got goats. He's got an orchard. You know, Owen's doing pretty well.
Is it just that Jonestown Bear is jealous of Owen's success?
Oh, I imagine.
That's what it is.
You see, you get all that nice, happy little steam on top of the lid. I'll just shake out some of that happy little steam.
Turned out that Jonestown Bear was exposed for molesting children and.
Now this is about the time we're going to want to start cooking our lean ground beef as well. So we got about 0.714, we got 714 grams of the lean ground beef here.
In Canada that costs $57.
No, it only costs $5.49. You got to be honest, PPP, like Owen Benjamin.
Oh, yeah. Owen Benjamin. The paragon of virtue.
The world would be a better place if all of us are just a little bit more like Owen Benjamin. So I'm gonna now for the beef. I'm gonna put the burner on somewhere in between 5 and 6. So about halfway between medium and 6. You're gonna want to get all the ground beef in there. I'm gonna do it just like that, so I get the blood in there with it. Because the blood adds a nice flavor. And because I was touching the raw meat, you want to rinse your hands off. Let that heat up a little bit.
Philip S. says that's not actually blood. And Jonestown Bear demands that you dry your hands on your shirt.
Oh, I'm gonna dry my hands on my shirt. What do you think? I use paper towel like a plebeian? You know? What are you, a troglodyte? Do you live in caves like a troglodyte? You don't wash your hands? You don't dry them off on your shirt? Janice
is asking that we make out on camera.
Yeah, I bet. It just gets weirder and weirder with Janice's comments, you know. It just gets weirder and weirder.
Michael says he uses paper towels like a troglodyte.
Yeah, I bet you they got lots of paper towels in the troglodyte cave. You know, I use a lot of paper towels, and I still wouldn't dry my hands off while I'm cooking. Oh, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I would from time to time.
So, gentlemen, we're going King Cobra JFS style. Why?
Where are you going?
I got a pee.
Do you?
Yeah.
Now, when you're cooking the ground beef, you want to cut it up. You know, you want to separate it into chunks. That's what I'm doing with the spatula. And the reason for that is it increases the surface area of it, so that it not only cooks faster, but it cooks all the way through. So I'm just really chopping it up into happy little chunks here. I'll show you. Hold on, you get all the ground beef into the pan. See here, I'll show you here. Hold on. You see, we get our ground beef into happy little chunks. You know? Yeah, you know asparagus. One time, I try to get this back.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
Guys, how long were we gone for?
Well, did they hear my story about staring at the wall?
And did you hear his story, asparagus? All right, you got to tell him the story again.
Yeah, so I don't think I drank a liter of alcohol with it, but one time in high school, I probably ate about 14 grams of mushrooms. And I couldn't really tell how much I ate because we had like 3 ounces of mushrooms. I just kept eating them straight out of the bag without measuring them out. And I had a couple ecstasy pills also. I don't know quite what. They might have been white polar bears, actually. I think they might have been orange Mercedes triple stacks. They might have been white polar bears. I don't know. But I had a couple of those, and then I was drinking the alcohol too, and I went up to my room just with a pipe. And I sat down on my bed, and I stared at the wall. And I had my pipe, and I was sitting there with my knees up. And I just smoked my pipe. I was smoking the weed, but that's all the motion I had. I just stared at the wall, and every now and again I'd take a hit off the pipe, and I just stare at the wall. And I probably stared at the wall for a good 2-3 hours. From like 2 to 4 or 5 a.m. I sat there and stared at the wall, And there's probably been nothing more entertaining in my whole life than the story I saw play out just on the wall. I don't really remember what was happening, but like I just knew I had to stare at the wall. I watched it, and there was a party going on in my basement. I had a whole bunch of people over. And my buddy Mitch, he kept coming up the stairs, and he kept coming in my room and saying, "RJ, what are you doing? You gotta get out of bed. You gotta come back down." And I would just look at him, or I would keep staring at the wall, and I would say, "It's not time yet." Say, "The time hasn't come. It's not time to get up." And then finally at like 4 or 5 a.m., I just knew it was time to get up. And I said to him, "It's time to get up." And I got up and enjoyed the rest of my night, But that's the time when I was mixing mushrooms with other things. You shouldn't do that. It's pretty degenerate. But let me tell you, staring at the wall for 3 hours is pretty intriguing. I don't know if you guys have ever stared at a wall.
People are saying it's epic.
Just sitting there motionless, staring at the wall, and they say, "RJ, you got to get up." And I just say, it's not time yet.
Jerry says that's when Surfer lost his mind in IQ points.
I probably lost a couple IQ points doing that. I'm not going to lie, but what you gain out of staring at the wall for 3 hours motionless? No, you don't gain a lot from that. It's pretty degenerate.
No, you gain a lot of deep insight into your soul.
Well, not into the soul, into the wall.
Into the wall. Harrison says that you're 3 times better than PPP.
It's pretty based.
There you go. Harrison loves you, Surfer.
Oh, you got a video coming up about cancer that you might really love.
Oh,
Give you my cancer analogy. Which I'll let them stew over that one and not really tell them anything about it yet. But one day the cancer analogy will come out.
Surfer's going to do his video on the real cancer. People are asking who has the better pair of glasses, PPP or Surfer. Well, hit 1 for PPP, 2 for Surfer on the glasses check.
You know, I picked out these glasses. Okay, I'm done with the lid too. But I picked out these glasses when I was in university. All by myself. I went into the optometry clinic and I was looking at the glasses. I was looking at the big glasses and I liked them. And the optometrist said, if you like those glasses, I've got something to show you. And he walked me over and he showed me these glasses. And they're regularly sunglasses. They aren't even prescription glasses. But I got custom lenses for them. And I've had these glasses ever since.
It looks as though you lost. I think I won the glasses showdown.
Oh, with your basic glasses?
Hey, they're pretty based. Look at them.
Oh.
They're pretty high level.
The reason I'm not using the lid anymore is because I want some of the moisture to come out at this point, to be honest with you. It leaves the kale look pretty wet. You don't want them to be super wet, you know, so I'm letting some of the moisture come out. And you can see it, it's evaporating out of the lid. Now, where's that taco mix? Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. I didn't put the taco mix. So I'd say the ground beef looks sort of brown, so it's time to drain it. Now, actually, I'm gonna bust out the lid again, and I'm gonna drain this ground beef. I'm gonna drain it with the lid.
This is some highly advanced technique.
Yeah, because I don't want to use the strainer. Because if I use the strainer, we're gonna lose some of the smaller ground beef through the holes in the strainer. And we don't want to lose any ground beef.
Sargoy has returned to the stream, and he is upset that you're still cooking.
So I'm gonna want to get the lid, just to a little happy right amount there, so we don't lose any. But we get rid of the liquid.
Harrison asks, Surfer, what do you think of the JQ?
Well, I think it's our prerogative that we help get every last Jew back to Israel so they can make the great state of Israel great again. You know? I think we should give them the whole Middle East as the state of Israel. And we should help send every last one of them there to be repatriated to the greatest state. I think that's our prerogative.
Sargoy says that that's very unbased, Surfer.
I think he said that was based last time, so you know what? Sargoy shouldn't be such an anti-Semite.
Asparagus is sure that we're both somewhat drunk.
No, I don't drink alcohol. Well, I do once in a while, but I don't really drink alcohol. I'm just degenerate.
Montana says that you're a better chef than Croc.
I don't think Croc's a very good chef. That's just my humble opinion. But, so now, it says on the back of the taco mix, we're going to stir in water.
Sargoy says it's not your prerogative to misuse the word prerogative.
I use the word prerogative and like the best. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Like definition sound, you know? The way I use prerogative is the closest to the definition of prerogative that you can use the word prerogative. You couldn't use the word prerogative in a more sound way than I use the word prerogative, sir. Go ahead.
People are laughing at you for having to read the taco mix.
Well, I just want to make sure I'm putting in the right amount of water into the taco.
Prospera City says that you're really hot, Surfer, but Prospera City says that I'm a lot hotter. Way to go, Prospera City. You're a person of true taste and culture.
Yeah, it sounds like a more family-oriented Janice comment.
You know?
I need something to measure out the water, though. I need the measuring cup. So I'm just going to use this happy little measuring cup here. You see we got the Pyrex measuring cup. And you want to use, how much water was it? 2/3 of a cup. Or 150 milliliters. So here in Canada, we use the metric system. So we're going to go with 150 milliliters instead of 2/3 of a cup. Gonna measure that out.
You're saying that you're Bubbles and I'm Ricky.
Hey, well, who's Julian? Does that make Robbie Julian?
I guess Robbie is Julian. I don't know. I don't know if that really works, but...
So I'm gonna take my taco mix now. I guess I gotta cut it open.
Well, you're right. It's the Virgin Church of Christ stream because you should be a virgin until marriage, Harrison. If you think the Catholic stream is Chad, I have some bad news for you, son. You're going straight to hell.
Yeah, premarital sex is degenerate. You shouldn't have it. And I know that. So you're just gonna want to sprinkle your happy seasoning mix onto the ground beef.
The Chad Virgin versus the Virgin Chad, exactly.
You know, like, you don't really know how bad it is to have premarital sex until you have unprotected sex with a hooker in Colombia. You know, and let me tell you, if any of you in chat have ever had unprotected sex with just a random hooker that you find down in Colombia, you know, you'd know that you shouldn't have premarital sex. It's a bad idea.
Sargoy asks, is that what you did, Surfer?
Well, it's a family-friendly stream, you know, so... We're all paragons of virtue here.
Harrison
You know?
says that Surfer is a font of wisdom.
A font?
Yeah, like a fountain.
Okay.
Like, come thou font of every blessing.
A fount, not a font.
It's okay.
Is it a font in the song?
Well, you spelled it F-O-N-T.
It's a font.
So I think he bricked, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, font of wisdom is on the same level as paragon of virtue, you know? I'll happily accept that one. I'd like to be both the paragon of virtue and a font of wisdom.
Surfer, have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Never seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even really know what it's about, to be honest.
It's a classic, Surfer.
So here what we're doing, we're mixing up our ground beef with the taco seasoning. Make sure we spread that taco seasoning all around the beef, because you don't want it concentrated to one piece of the beef. You see, so you really want to mix up your beef taco seasoning in the water. Flatten it all out so it cooks nice and evenly. Maybe stir the vegetables again. It looks like the vegetables are pretty much done, to be honest. The parsnips. Now the parsnips, they're falling apart. You know, I think this might be my first time not only cooking with kale, but cooking with parsnips. You know, and oh no, we're losing vegetables. I'm going to try them.
Any good, Surfer? No.
No, I just tasted a parsnip. And you know what? I would say they taste more like Coca-Cola than they do like green onions.
So there you go. The parsnips taste like Coca-Cola, guys.
We lost one into here though, so we need to get that out so we don't burn it later. You see, if something falls under the burner, you can even pull the burner right out and clean underneath the burners. And that way you don't create a fire down the line. The last thing you want is to create a fire. Okay, now you gotta cook the beef until it's thick, and I almost had to read the package again.
Sargoy is speechless.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know why Sargoy is so speechless.
Now, I'll probably turn the vegetables down again. I'll turn them down to maybe just past the 2. You know, we're going to go in between the 2 and the 3, but we're not going to go quite halfway. We're going to go about 2 and maybe a happy little third.
Don't tempt me, name.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now, what we're doing is we're playing the waiting game on the ground beef. We're waiting for the ground beef for the sauce, the taco sauce to thicken. You want the taco sauce to thicken in the ground beef. So while we're waiting for that, I'll probably use the time to make another pot of coffee. You know, because keep this going. So I'm going to come in the other side here with the coffee maker. I'll maybe take my last pepper while I'm at it and put it back in the fridge because you want to keep the peppers refrigerated. I'll put the oregano back in the cupboard too. And this will be how you make the Tim Hortons coffee. I'll take the old coffee filter out of there. And this will probably be the first thing that you guys see me cook where there's no cumin and there's no maple syrup. You don't want to put cumin or maple syrup into the coffee. You want to just get your coffee filter in there. Just push her down nice and softly around the edges.
Asparagus has asked if you've ever made coffee with black pepper in it.
No, I think that's pretty degenerate. But you want to, it's sort of moist on the edges, so you use that to keep the sides up. Because with the coffee maker, it's going to spray like steam down. And if it catches the edge, you'll get all sort of coffee grains in your coffee, and you don't want that. So you're going to want to get your Tim Hortons dark roast, which I keep the spoon. I have a dedicated spoon, which I keep in a different empty box of the Tim Hortons dark roast. You use a dedicated spoon for the coffee.
Sargoy asks, how long is the coffee going to take? 30 minutes?
No, only like 10. So you just want to get 6 nice little scoops, not heaps. You level them out there. And you get your 6 nice little scoops into the coffee filter. You want to make sure you're not spilling it all over the place or getting it in the back or anything like that. You might get coffee grains in your coffee. There's 3 scoops. 4, 5, and we'll just get a 6th happy little scoop there. It's a happy little scoop.
Did Worski give you a deal on the Tim Hortons coffee?
No, Worski would sell a McDonald's coffee, which I don't know if you could buy the McDonald's coffee for at home. I think you might only be able to get that in the McDonald's. I don't know, I haven't really drank McDonald's coffee for a long time. But you see, when you put your scoops in, you got a bit of a melt in there. It's not even. And the water won't go up through it evenly like that. So you want to shake it out. You just give her some happy little shakes. Maybe some happy little taps on the side. And that gets her nice and flat. I'll put her back in there. And then for the coffee machine, you want to use not the spring water, but the reverse osmosis water. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have minerals. Remember, we used the spring water before for the vegetables because it has minerals, so it's better for you. But if you have minerals in the water in the coffee maker, you're going to get scale all over the sides, which you'd have to clean the scale off of the sides. So we're just going to pour the reverse osmosis water in there because it's pure. If you're going to purity spiral about your water, the reverse osmosis water is what you want. It's the purest of all the breeds of water. So you just want to pour the happy little water. Maybe I just go just past the max line. Hit brew now, and you're good to go.
Amazing.
Gonna want to maybe stir the ground beef again. Oh, well, that's the problem.
What happened?
You see, Chad, I messed up. I turned the stove off and I drained the ground beef, and I forgot to turn it back on. But I mean, that'll happen to the best of us, you know. And once in a while, we make a mistake. But here on the Cooking with Surfer show, we fix our mistakes when we make them, you know. So we repent, and we're just gonna turn the burner back on. That way, our sauce will thicken, you know. It's all right. It gives us a bit more time to get the moisture out of the vegetables. There's still just a little bit of moisture to get out of them. Now we wait a little bit longer. What are you doing, PvP?
Contemplating my life decisions that led to this point.
I'll get the incense burning while you're over there.
Alright.
You see, chat? We like to, I have a nice balance on the incense table over there. And we like to keep the incense burning in the lizard and in the mermaid. And it creates a nice sense and a nice ambience in the atmosphere while we're cooking. You know, and that just helps us make a happy little meal for the Thanksgiving special. You know? Here, I'll check it, make sure it's not bricking. BBP is having an existential crisis over there, you know. He's sitting there doing the face palm like Eminem on the Revival album. One day we'll do a stream where I harvest the meat of a moose, you know. I'll get a moose, I'll shoot a moose, I'll put it down, and I'll quarter it. And we'll stream me quartering the moose. Because you see, moose are really big animals. So when you get a moose and you want to bring it out of the field, you want to carry it to transport it so you can make meat and stuff out of it like that, you got to quarter it. And then you can take each quarter of the moose and strap it to your back. And it sort of looks like the mushrooms, and we quartered the mushrooms. And you put the quarter of a moose on your back and you carry it out of the field there. So one day me and PPP will go moose hunting. And you know, we'll show you guys how to quarter a moose live on YouTube. What do you think about that, PPP?
I think that'll be a fantastic video. I think the Cowboys should fucking fire Jason Garrett.
Are you betting on the Cowboys again?
No, I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah. You know, I sort of got the same take as like a Nick Fuentes on the sports. You know, I just don't really see what the big deal is about it. You know, I don't really know why most people are into sports so much. I'm not really into it.
Well, that's where you're wrong, bucko. Sports are the single most important facet of life. You gotta watch the sports all day, every day.
The bread and the circuses just don't really fire me up.
Bread and circuses are the only reason to live.
Yeah. Now our sauce is starting to thicken. The plot thickens.
The lemon deepens. In a few minutes, I'm gonna get back up.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you making it?
I don't know if I'm making it.
Is it tough?
It is.
No. You see, I didn't check when we started the... Oh. I messed up the orientation.
We'll switch it back.
What do you mean I ruined the entire meal in the stream? What are you talking about? Did I have it on the wrong orientation? Did I put it back down, upside down? You know?
No.
Look at. So our coffee is just about done. It's past the 2 mark. I didn't check the time, but I'll probably give her another maybe 5 minutes. This is the right orientation. It's got a nice balance on the phone there, you know. And you see the ground beef over here, it's really starting to sizzle. And I'll show it to you. I'll show you the ground beef. I'll unplug the phone here for a minute. You see? It's really starting to sizzle there. You can see the sizzles of the sauce in between the between the beef. Gotta plug the phone back in so we don't lose the batteries. Well, Harrison, you know, I'm glad you can see that. I think that's important because you gotta know the different stages of the ground beef when it's done, and it's almost done. The sizzle means that a lot of the water is coming out of the sauce. So as long as you keep mixing it, it's really going to thicken here shortly. I'll flatten her back out so that it cooks evenly. You see, you can't see it right now, but if you leave it in mountains and clumps, it's going to cook on the bottom and not the rest. So you want to take thermodynamics into account, and you want to just flatten her out nice and smooth. I'll maybe stir my vegetables up a bit more. And you guys may have noticed in chat that we still use the same spatula for the vegetables as we do for the ground beef. And that's because in the fajita, it's all going to be one happy, nice picture. So it's all right to mix all the happy little flavors around between the vegetables and the ground beef. You get a little bit of the cumin flavor in the ground beef, and you get a little bit of the happy taco flavor in the vegetables. You're going to want to bang off our spatula because the kale's starting to stick. You know? Maybe put our maple syrup back in the fridge because we're not going to need that anymore. Oh, and the good news is I'm making fajitas. And I almost forgot about salsa, but we do still have a little bit of salsa in the fridge. So we're winning. That's how winning's done. Still not tired of winning.
People are going to say, please, surfer, we're tired of winning.
Still not tired of winning. You know?
All right, I'm back.
Yep. So now if you show them the ground beef here, you gotta show them the ground beef. Here you go, I gotta pick it up.
Yeah.
So you can see there's really a sizzle in there now. The ground beef's really sizzling. You know what? Just move her around a bit. And yeah, the sauce is getting nice and thick in there. It's getting nice and thick. Oh, the happy little chunks of the ground beef. Who predicted it was going to take 2 hours?
I think it was Sargo. I said it was going to take 2 hours.
Sargo is gone though, isn't he?
I don't know if Sargo is still here or not. We're at 100 minutes now.
Stargoy's watching his troglodyte stream on the kill stream tonight instead.
No, he's here. He's saying we all knew it would take that long.
Did you? No, you got, well, you didn't really pay for it, but you got what you were looking for. Just get all the vegetables mixed up there. Vegetables are starting to look really nice. We got a lot of the moisture out.
Jerry asked, how does crack taste?
Oh no, I never smoked crack. Even when I did drugs, I never smoked crack. You know, like you're pretty far gone when you're smoking crack. You know, like
If you smoke crack, you're pretty whack. Fresh.
I can't imagine what it would be like to take that first hit of crack. Like you just gotta really have given up on your life. You know, you must really believe it's a simulation, and you now want to be in control of the simulation. So you smoke crack. You know, like it must be tough to smoke crack. So we've turned our stove off, and now that we've turned the stove off, with the lack of heat, with the absence of heat, the sauce and the ground beef is really going to start to thicken. Now, to let some of the heat out of it, we want to let out a bit of the heat, so it'll thicken even quicker, so we can stir it up. And when you stir it up, it releases some of that heat that was trapped inside. You get a nice, happy little steam out of it. And now the really good news. Bang off all the little happy chunks of ground beef back into the mass of it. But the really good news, we got even more coffee made. Looks like PPP didn't drink the rest of his coffee. Got to get cold. But we're going to want to get some paper towel. I like to use 3 paper towels for pouring my coffee. Put them down. Get the cup. And we're going to put the cup on the left side there. Leave some space on the right side. I'm going to get my pot of coffee. I'm going to turn off the coffee maker. Got my pot of coffee here. And because a lot of the time it spills, that's why I have this paper towel. I'm going to pour it over top. You see, it's spilling. It all happened to the best of us. And then I'm going to dry it off with our shirt, even though it's sort of hot. It's alright. We can cook bacon with no clothes on, so we can touch the hot pot of coffee, right? And it won't be too bad. So you toughen ourselves up with cooking the bacon. I'm going to put the pot of coffee back in there for PPP whenever he's ready for it. No. It looks like everything's about ready. So the final step for your tacos, well, I guess we gotta clear some space on the dinner table first off here. It's just a disaster area. We need paprika, and we also need cumin seeds at this point. We're all out of cumin seeds. We use so many of them. Got all the garbage from here.
Well, John, that's where you're wrong. Back in the day, I was not a normie, but I thought that was the most optical way to go about things in that video with Antifa. You know, and there were 80 Antifa around us, and to be honest with you, I didn't want to have to fight 80 Antifa people, So
pretty soft on PPP's behalf.
Oh yeah, you were just right there throwing up Romans, were you?
No. But every time I walk by that cenotaph lately, I just want to stand up on it and throw Romans. I just want to stand there on the Sanatop and throw Romans on video.
Well, I did
That's all
call
I
them
wanna do.
communists in the video, you idiot. I yell no commies, no fascists, period. I was doing the based individualist Sargon-like take at the time.
And you know what? I was a normie at that point. I used to be a bit of a normie, but it was because I used to be a bit of a degenerate. So now, what you want to do, I'll get my knife in the water there. You're going to want to heat up. There you get that.
What are you telling us, John, that Antifa aren't the real fascists? No, we are, damn it.
The left are the real fascists. The left are the real racists. You know, like
Sargoy says no, don't microwave it.
No, you gotta microwave. So now, you see we got our garden vegetable, Dempster's tortillas, made by Bimbo Canada.
Sargoy is so upset.
Them.
He's so upset.
Just for 10 seconds. We're just going to do a little happy microwave for 10 seconds. You get it going. Maybe my coffee's cooled down a little bit so I can drink it.
Well, buddy, R the Donald is frickin' based. He's trying to say you're R the Donald, tier surfer. Are you going to throw up your based Roman, surfer?
No, I'm not going to throw up any Romans. I'm going to wait until one day we're at the Cenotaph. And you know what? I'll throw Romans on the Cenotaph on live stream.
Harrison is saying I need to fire you for ruining the meal and stream.
You guys want to see a meal. Here, hold on. So this one will be for PPP. No, this one will be for me. PPP can make his own. Here, I need the salsa though out of the fridge. See, the good news is we got salsa. We got the medium chunky salsa. Hasn't expired? No. Doesn't expire for like a year. Don't use salsa very often, so I'm surprised it's even in there.
Video Game Snake has to surfer love Murdoch.
I do, and you know what? I'm gonna back up every episode on Blu-ray. And for a lot of my family members this year for Christmas, I'm going to burn the Blu-rays of Murdoch. And all my normie family members, I'm going to give them like the Me More lineup. You know? Yeah, the Me More lineup.
The timeline.
Yeah, the timeline. So what I might do for like for instance, I have two cousins, right? A brother and a sister. I'll probably give the brother the Me More timeline, and then I'll give the sister like the sitcom #1 timeline, you know? And that way they can exchange their Murdoch, and you know, I think that'll be pretty good for them. That'll be pretty base. So you're going to want to scoop out your ground beef. And I would recommend that. If you guys have any normies in your family, make sure you burn them copies of Murdoch on either Blu-ray or DVD. And distribute that this Christmas. You know, I think that's what God intended for Murdoch. And especially in case it ever gets shut down, I want to back up every episode of Murdoch on Blu-ray for my own personal collection.
Jerry McCanook says if I gave my family Murdoch on DVD, I'd be disowned.
Well, don't be soft. Are you an optics cock like Fuentes? See, now we're going to want to get some happy little vegetables on there, even though they're sort of going all over the place. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get her on top, like a troglodyte there.
Guys, press 1 if you would eat it.
It's not ready yet.
Oh, it's not. Sargoy put a 1 anyway.
Because it's pretty basic already. I need a spoon. So I'll get that spoon. I'll get my salsa.
But most of chat is hitting 2. Is it wrong?
Yeah, the salsa's moldy. We're not going to eat the salsa. You see, look at the salsa, chat. We're not going to eat that. That's tough. You know? That's really tough. That hurts my soul somewhere inside. But that doesn't matter because I wasn't planning on having salsa in the first place anyways. So we're just going to eat it.
Harrison says to just eat around it.
No, that's you're going to get sick. Want to roll up our fajita? And now look at it. Would you eat that? You see, that's a portobello mushroom beef fajita with kale and parsnips. It's a portobello beef fajita with kale and parsnips. We're gonna give her a try. You know, it's actually unreal. Like, that's way better than I thought it was going to be. That's
what would you
good.
rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
8.5. It's
Well,
like almost the same rating as how degenerate we are compared to the UK.
there we go. Well, should we close the stream off here?
No. You gotta make yours.
I don't know.
You gotta try it and tell them what you think. Nice JFS progress setting the phone down, buddy.
Well, that's how it's done. People in stream that are still here are just talking ahead, you know, like they're 2 hours into this.
2 hours.
There's like 20 people that have still been watching.
Buddy goes, PPP, can you get Surfer to make a good Swiss melted Swiss cheese with roasted mushroom and caramelized onion on a burger? It's hot stuff and you can get it at a number of different places. That is the most overused meme in the last like a week.
People are just really spamming.
And you know what? In this house, we don't eat onions in this house.
I do.
No, onions are gross and they're for troglodytes.
Onions are good, bro.
Onions are disgusting.
Disgusting.
Disgusting onions. What, are you gonna roll it like a troglodyte? look at PPP. Look at PPP roll this friggin' That is Kino. PPP's rolling of the fajita. That is the most Kino part of the whole stream. And you know what? I think that's where we're going to end it here today.
7 out of 10.
Welcome to edition 5. That concludes edition 5 of Cooking with Surfer. I hope the chat had fun and you have a blessed rest of your evening. Goodbye. Oh yeah, you need PPPs right here. Give it to them, then you can close out the stream. Cheers.
You know, it's a 7 out of 10, guys. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.